It's very, very hot, but I'm sure we'll find a way around it. Stay hydrated. Yeah, very important. Drink as much water as possible. Okay, preferably some chill water to cool your temper. Today, I'm going to be talking about something. There are a lot of things that will happen today. And the reality of it is that one of the things that will happen today will lead to an implantation. Okay? And that implantation will produce a baby. And that baby would have to be nourished. That baby would have to be fed. So, all ye lovers, take note. As this conversation concerns parents and would-be parents that we would have in advance, simply put. Nutrition for our babies. It's easier to feed a child and an adult, but you see with babies, their nutrition is a different ball game altogether. And as one who has been to the supermarket lately, especially last night, the price I saw compared to the last price I bought some of those items for, it wasn't funny at all. So we're going to be talking about high cost of baby food and what alternatives do we have in Nigeria as it concerns their nutrition after this commercial break. Stay tuned to us.
Are you into business?
Food. These things that will nourish our babies and help them grow up. Instant formula has actually risen in price, almost 5 times more than the average food product in a grocery store since March 2022. When it comes to feeding a newborn, and you're unable to produce enough breast milk after an emergency C-section, or you're not just producing enough milk to meet your baby's nutritional needs, formula to the rescue. But the truth of the matter is, they don't come cheap. Last week, in one of our meetings, we were talking about this. And, we were trying to look at how people were being fed before now. Us as babies, The formula thing, the baby food thing was not popular back then. But the truth of the matter is, when a child is born, there is nutrition for that child. Food will be made available for the child. True or false? So, what were the children of those days eating? Were they as nutritious as these formulas? Should we go back to what we were feeding them in those days before the popularity of these formulas? Have you ever tried to draw up a comparison between children who are formula fed? After, of course, the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding as recommended by the World Health Organization. So they recommend that you breastfeed exclusively. What that simply means is nothing else, not water, not food, just breast milk for the first 6 months of the baby's life. And then after 6 months, you can start introducing solids. Some people try to do the 6 months. Some do for 2 months. Some do for 3 months. Some do as they can do. And then they substitute or they complement with the formulas. So what are the children in the village eating? Especially those from low income backgrounds. What are they being fed with? Is it nutritious enough for them? Are they any different from those who are being fed these formulas? I'm saying this because if this thing is becoming so expensive and it gets to a point where not everyone can afford them, what alternatives do we have for packaged baby foods in Nigeria? That is the question I'm asking. What alternatives do we have for packaged baby foods in Nigeria? And I'm not just talking the formulas. They have the cereals they eat. Some have the rice-based cereal. Some have the wheat-based cereal. Some have the, what's this one called now? Different cereals with different brands. Some even have the packaged pap. The one that it's not the wet form, the dried one, they package it and it's made from corn and you're just supposed to mix and then you will still need the milk, of course, right? And the several other options that are available. And then you also want to take into cognizance the selectivity of some babies. For instance, let's look at some of the milk we have in the market. The one I usually would used to cost from between 3,500 to 3,700. As of December, it became 4,250. As at last month, it became 4,450. Early this month, it went up to 4,500. As at yesterday, the supermarket where I buy, it is currently being sold for 4,700. And that's for just, what's it called now? 400 gram. Am I right? And then some babies will tell you that it's not that one that is being sold for that amount that they want to eat. There are ranges. They're the ones that are sold for as much as 12,000 naira. There's some foreign brands that are being imported. And then some parents will pride themselves and say, oh, my children don't like the Nigerian own, or my babies don't like the Nigerian own. It's always the foreign one. And that foreign one is usually scarce. So whenever I see it, I just close my eyes and I buy it. So beyond the price is the fact that some children can be selective. But then, what nutritious alternative do we have for baby food in Nigeria? Second question, as a parent of a baby, how are you coping with the high cost of baby food at the moment? Let's talk. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Send us a WhatsApp message or a Telegram message. The WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. We're live on X at Nigeria Info page is our X handle, and our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call. Be audible so we can hear you. A call screener is in standby to take your calls first before passing you on to me in the studio. So when you do call, the first voice you would hear will not be my voice, but that of the call screener. I have Pepple on the line. I'm not quite sure where Pepple is calling from. Okay, so it's not Pepple. It's Michael. Where is Michael calling from? Michael is calling from Agri Road. Hello, Michael. Good afternoon and welcome to the sunny side. Talk to me. Michael, are you with me?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, by privilege, I'm a father of three.
Three, okay.
And when I had my first daughter, we used to buy baby food for about less than 1,000 or a little above 1,000. But as I speak to you, it's about almost 3,000 as at a couple of days back.
That's the brand you use, okay.
Yes, that's the brand. So sometimes I tried alternative means, but my daughter wasn't making her look healthy. She wasn't adding as much weight as needed. So I had to revert back to what we were giving her. So sometimes we want something that is cheap, but of course, how it responds to their health is one thing that we don't have a choice but to follow what is needed for them.
So what was the alternative you tried with your baby, if you don't mind sharing with us?
You said?
What was the alternative you tried with your baby?
The normal pap, you make the pap with maize, and of course, the milk is primary. Whatever you're doing, you have to add a little milk on it, of course. But when you try those ones and the child is not responding, as a parent, you want the primary purpose for which you're feeding your child is for them to look healthy. And when they are not looking healthy, you have to fall back to what works.
What works?
So
okay.
It's just unfortunate, but that's what it is.
All right then. Thank you. Now with these formulas, like he said, if you're going to make pap for your child, you definitely need the milk. And then there are the whole cereals, those ones that you don't even need to add anything. It has milk already. It has whatever it is as the base. All you need to do is add hot water or lukewarm water, or a particular temperature of water to make the meal. So some people would still recommend pap because we've had pap since forever. But having the child drink only pap, like pap, empty pap without milk, it doesn't make sense. So what can we add to our pap? They used to say soya milk, but processed soya milk now, is it also cheap? Chinda from Chinda, welcome to the sunny side. Talk to me.
Hello, good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Chinda, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I said some of these baby food, not that what you cannot buy, what you cannot afford, because of pride. Pride makes so many parents. How can a baby of a month, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months decide the kind of food she will eat or he will eat? This is the fault is from the parents. Don't mind those parents. They just want to feel among the people that have. Those people that have the baby food, even if it is 100,000, they will buy 1 dozen, 12, and keep in the house. It doesn't affect them. But poor people are so proud they don't have anything. Those baby reject baby food.
Are you talking from experience?
If you are not prepared, then you're ready for the war.
Chinda, are you talking from experience? Yes. Are you talking from experience?
I'm a father.
Okay, so let me clearly state that. Have you heard about something called allergies?
Hello?
Have you heard of allergies before?
Sorry, I cannot even hear you. I'm not getting what you're saying.
Chinda, can you hear me now?
Yes, Dennis.
Have you heard of allergies before?
Sorry, I will call back. I'm not hearing you very well. I'll call back.
Chinda, there's something called allergies. Well, what parents may interpret as my baby not like this one may mean my baby reacts to this particular brand. There may be something in the brand that doesn't sit right with the baby's system. And so the baby would react. The baby will show some things. Sometimes it's difficult for parents to notice that, it's because of what the child is eating. And maybe they pay attention. That's how some people knew that they were allergic to this, they were allergic to banana, they were allergic to this one, they were allergic to what have you. The ingredients. And yes, it is possible that a child does not. They have taste buds too. They do. It's the same way as an adult. You don't eat everything. Till tomorrow, I'm saying this, you cannot make me eat liver. There is no amount of advertisement. There is no amount of, PR you're going to do for liver that will make me eat liver. Point a gun to my head and say, eat liver. I will not still eat liver. I don't like it. If I can't reject a meal, I know some of you who say you don't eat onion. I know some of you who say you don't eat periwinkle. I know someone who doesn't eat gizzard. Gizzard that is expensive. Gizzard that people love to eat. There is someone on earth that does not like gizzard. And then I ask, what do people do with the gizzard in your chicken? They say they throw it away. And I'm like, what? Please, when else you're going to kill some chicken, keep the liver for me. Keep the gizzard for me. So if as adults, we react to things, we are allergic to stuff, we don't eat certain things, what makes you think a baby? I know babies, children that don't eat vegetables. So if you make fried rice or you make anything and it has carrots, green peas and the rest, they would carefully select them out, put in one part and go ahead and eat the rice. Are you saying the fault is from the parents? I'm just saying. I tried an alternative. It works for me. I mashed bananas. Yes, just mashed bananas. Sometimes I've sprinkled a little bit of the baby milk on the mashed bananas, and I discovered that my little one likes it. Sometimes I mash avocado pear. But even with the bananas and avocado pear, are they cheap? It's another thing. Is banana cheap? How many times is she going to eat banana? Avocado pears, are they cheap? So how many times is she going to have avocados? So what other nutritious alternative will work? Something more consistent, not a one-off. You probably have tried it year in, year out, and you'll see that your child enjoys it, and you see that your child, is getting the nutritional benefit from it. Could you please recommend? Someone says, hello dear, the nutritional requirements for babies are somewhat complex when compared to adolescents, teens, and adults. This is because most baby food in terms of its RDI, that's recommended daily intake, are proteins and amino acids related, including specific growth factor to build up body tissues for complete physical and mental health. In fact, in nutritional biochemistry, it's referred to as gold standard. Talking about alternative to packaged baby foods, nursing mothers should be enlightened on the most basic micro and macro nutrients essential for their babies and cheap sources where they can be obtained, like grounded apple sauce and dawa. Pap, soya bean oil is rich in amino acids and be extracted in order to add them to the cheap ones available in the market. Example, zinc, magnesium, manganese, cobalt, iron, and then from Abba. Thank you so much. So Chinda called back. Chinda, can you hear me now?
Hello, Dennis.
Chinda, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Your line is not clear, but let me manage and say something.
Okay.
You are allergic to something. This person is allergic. This person. Sometimes the situation comes from our. This one is reacting to this. I stopped eating frozen chicken. There was a place a friend took me to, close to Ubunabali area. This woman uses this frozen chicken to garnish meat pie. I was eating this thing. I will even beg my friends, oh boy, we go there, we go buy that. In they laugh for a mind. So they got that for the day. As you say, they give frozen chicken. The way you don't know what it is they eat for that meat pie. They have frozen chicken. So nobody is allergic to this. This thing, me, I don't swallow Gary. If you bring Gary now, if I put it inside my mouth, I will vomit. I don't swallow Gary, but I drink Gary more than any other person.
Okay.
I lick soup more than any other person, but I cannot swallow. This thing is something of pride. Parents, they pride themselves. My baby is eating SMA of 7,000. That is because pride. That baby cannot choose. If you see any reaction, change the pattern in which you prepare that thing for the baby. I was buying this thing for my last baby. They said it's corn something. We were buying that thing 4,000 naira. I was sweating every day. A lady came to our house. I should take her to Isoko. When she got there, she said, "Why are they suffer on herself? Come, I give you this thing. Make my wife full and go my train." They bought this cereal in this thing. They measure it with cup at my train market. 2 cup was 100 naira. My sister, the pikin they eat and they fast. Now my son is still there now. He's going to primary 1. He no die. Forget these things. Those things are pride. Makes people see say a neighbor here after the child, after eating, she will bring out the container, this foreign baby food. She will keep it in the veranda. She's keeping it there. Everybody, if they pass the veranda, you go to see the cook there. What does that mean?
She's saving it. She's saving it for the baby's first birthday. They'll use it and do photo shoot.
Dennis.
Yeah. I think.
Please, I want you to help me. Maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow. Single mothers are increasing in River State. I don't know.
Okay.
I want you to talk.
Chinda, we'll find a way to talk about it. Christy from Port Harcourt says, "Good afternoon, DDW. People must not put themselves into unnecessary pressure to buy baby food. Alternative nutrition for babies can be pap and soya beans liquid or powder, and your baby will look very healthy." And I'm asking, the soya bean powder or the soya bean liquid, does it come cheap? I want to know. Cheesy Light says, "All Nigerian leaders are foolish in every way. Do you know that all over the world, the 4 basic needs of man, food, shelter, and clothing, are ensured, and the government makes sure that those things are provided and affordable? But checking Nigeria, you will see the direct opposite. Yet we have people who are not being useful as leaders. See cement for 9,500 per bag." Okay, how does cement come into this conversation? Alabi Yese says, "You're very right, my sister. My son doesn't eat egg yolk, and each time I force him to eat it, he will vomit almost every other thing he takes. He's now 9 years old and still doesn't eat egg yolk." And yes, there are people that mash eggs, boiled eggs. So you boil the eggs and then you mash it, and then you give it to your baby. Christian from Borikiri. Hi, Christian. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For me, it's a matter of choice. One thing I know is any food you are giving to your baby and he's taking it and survive, it will become a responsible adult. Fine. Me that is talking to you here, my mother used to tell me, say, it's akamu pap. That's what in the Yoruba people call it ogi. They used to call me ologi. You eat pap too much. Nobody may live here. So anyone you know say go feel afford, go. Yeah, I don't even see. Person no fit pressurize me. If I have my son and if he's taking pap or anything, Gary, I know he's taking it and he's looking healthy, I will give it to him. What are you going to say? Is he your son? Is he your daughter? Is he your baby? So it's the one I know my baby will eat, I will buy. So the one I know I cannot afford, I will not buy. And I will not see because I have baby. That is it. So anybody who wants to buy anything, even though buy 1 million and give your baby, is your business. So for me, pap is there. I have seen newborn baby, they are taking pap, even without sugar, they put it salt and give it to them. They are looking very healthy.
Without milk?
What would they even use the sponsor of these children?
Christian,
they become,
pap without milk?
They're not going to give them natural food, what we'll get now. You go food, they will become lazy and fat, all this kind of. Give them what we get, everybody sugary something. That is my thing.
Christian, are you saying that we should give our babies pap and salt, no milk? Hello? He's Christian with me. Hello, Christian. Oh dear. Christian, hello. I think Christian is done with us. So we'll just have to let him go. Pap and salt, no milk. Does it work? Oh, have you ever tried what we call tiger nut pap? Yeah. I tried that one. I tried it one time and it really turned out nice. Now, with the tiger nut pap, you do not need milk because the tiger nut already has its own, what's it called? It's the tiger nut milk already. Plant-based milk, that's what they call it. So this is the recipe. You have your tiger nuts, you have your dates. You can do with or without ginger. So you don't even need any sweetener. When you've soaked your tiger nut and it's soft, you soak your dates with some hot water. It becomes soft. You put your ginger. You blend it all together. You extract the milk. You set a pot on fire and you put it on fire and you continue to mix until it thickens. Voila! There you go. As simple as that. And it is very, very nutritious. I had to figure that alternative out because I produce tiger nut milk. Nigerian food, good afternoon to you and welcome. Turn off your radio set, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is AGK Okoronkwo.
AGK?
I'm calling from,
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm calling from South Road, Manila Estate to be precise.
Okay.
Yeah. Children who are allergic to certain foods, I think most times it could be genetics.
Okay.
But I want to take us back to the Stone Age, where our forefathers, before now, hitherto now, were not used to these fake European foods. Most of them grew with cassava. I mean, I'm talking about our forefathers. And they lived healthy. They were stronger. And they enjoyed longevity of life. So what happened? Can't we go back to those old, days where things were being done the proper ways? See, there is nothing wrong feeding your children with pap. It is all about imbibing that culture, that ritual into them. Children are something that they are learnable. They are teachable, rather. Once you do it over a period of time, they will get acclimatized to it. Sometimes, if a baby rejects, a pap and all that, repeat it again. Give it back to him. Don't allow him that child some time. Let the hunger for it come. Then give it back to him. You see that child taking it. Because that once they reject it, you start getting panicked. Okay, let me go and buy SMA Gold. And that is very expensive. I don't think an average parent this time around can afford it. It's over 12,000 naira. And is that what you'll be doing? Most of these children eat per tin of that SMA Gold every week. So multiply it by 356 by how many weeks in a year? So how much is the salary? What is your income? What is the money coming into your account? So For me, of the work for our forefathers, it will enable us to save and not be pressured. It will make us live a fulfilled life, and raising our children will be easier for us. But this time around, I notice that most people they are bandwagonists. They tend to follow the trend. Treasure baby is using SMA gold. What is her salary? What is the husband's salary? Let me use my own too. And so many things, unhealthy rivalries and competitions.
Even with baby food. Wow. Oh, I never saw
that. I beg your pardon.
Even with baby food.
I did make mention of our forefathers. Were they?
Oh dear. AGK, we lost the call with you. Please call back. Someone says you can only be allergic to a food substance if your immune system has been predisposed or sensitized to some certain chemical components of food. Otherwise, it's good intolerance, and it can be avoided when you take the food in little quantities or other forms. This one says, I think I agree with you. I mean, I know somebody who says they don't eat onion. And I said, why? He says he's allergic to it. I'm like, okay. So I blended the onion and made a meal. And the person ate everything. And I said, hold up, you say you don't eat onion? And the person said yes. I said, do you know you just ate onion? Not just small onion, plenty onion. You haven't dropped dead. No, I mean, sorry for being, but that was what I said. You haven't dropped dead. Say, okay, I think the problem is because if I see it, they do me. I know some people say they are lactose intolerant. Some people say they are, what's this one? Some people say they don't eat beans because the beans, there is a way it is to give them heartburn. And then people came up with methods to reduce the gas in beans and all of that. Yeah. Hi, all my children take pap without milk and they are healthy. Just pap. No milk. Wow. So you just mix the pap, pour hot water, no sweetener whatsoever. Wow. That's interesting. Nigerian Phil, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon, the golden lady with the golden voice. I called back. I pulled back. I remain AGK Okoronko. I'm calling from Mandela Estate. Please, can I proceed?
Welcome back. Go ahead.
Okay. We should advocate because times are hard. Times are really biting so hard and tougher. I think this topic would also help to educate a whole lot of persons, not to go into unhealthy rivalries and competitions and all that. I think we should talk more about making our children, to eat what we can afford. Do you understand? Now, maybe either of our babies are allergic. Let me use the word allergic. They are allergic to some certain food, and we cannot afford the wants that their body wants or they desire. So, how do we come out? How do we cope with such challenge? Do we go out of our ways? Do we go borrowing? Do we go stealing? So what I'm trying to say is that since it has worked for our forefathers, I keep making use of those instances because these things were things that they did, and they enjoyed healthy living. Not just healthy living, they enjoyed longevity too. But this time around, we are the so-called approved healthy foods and whatever. But you find out that the longevity people enjoy in Nigeria is, anybody who has lived 70 years is adjudged to have lived a long life. But those days, our forefathers enjoyed 100, like my great-grandmother, she lived up to 141 years before she gave up in 2007. And I remember like we used to call her, she was this traditionalist. She enjoys local foods. She was never the type that, was receptive to, European foods and all the intakes. So what I'm trying to say is that our children, once we can afford the pap, please, with every excitement and enthusiasm, we should just give it to them. Repeat the process. They don't have choice. I remember those days. It's not as if I'm, trying to encourage people to, lock up their children's nostrils in order to make them eat the food. But the point that there is enabled those days in Borokri where we were all born and brought up. Whenever that child starts crying and they give the child pap and all that, and the child rejects, they will just keep the pap. After the child must have cried to an extent, they'll bring out that same pap again, give it to that child, and you see that child taking it because that child has no other alternative.
All right, thank you so much, Ejike. We have to go now on the news break.
Thank you.
Sadly, that brings us to the end of the conversation. Of course, the end of 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock hour after trending stories would have a series of recorded programs to enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day. Follow us on all social media platforms at Nigeria Info page. Follow me on Instagram and X at _Denise_Dennis.
It's your right to know. Nigeria Info keeps you in the know.